Good morning, stock traders, and welcome back to Stock Traders Talk Radio. I'm your host, Stock Sumo, and thanks for joining us on this terrific Tuesday, September 4th, 2012. Now let's get ready to rock as we look through the markets. So open up your charts, turn on your scanners, and fire up your trading accounts. Joining us on this morning's program is Haas. What's up, dog?
Stock Sumo. I'm doing pretty well this morning. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Did you have a good long weekend?
Yeah, I feel like it's been a few days before all of us have been together on a radio show, but I'm ready to get kicking that post-holiday here. I had a fantastic weekend. Got out and did a little bit of golfing. I got to see my family for a little while. We went out and had a good time in downtown Minneapolis. But other than that, it was pretty relaxing yesterday and Sunday for the most part. How about you, man?
Oh, same here. Got to spend some time with the family, which always means a lot, and got to enjoy some golf. The weather's just been amazing. I thought that hurricane that was coming up the coast there, Isaac, was going to get up here and wreak some havoc, have some rain, but it's been real nice, clear skies, and the sun's been shining. It's been real hot out, and just a great ending to a nice summer.
Cool, man.
I'm fired up for football.
Yeah, I bet you are. Minnesota Vikings fan. Ugh. I live in Minneapolis, and I can't even get on that train.
I got in a fantasy draft, and I got Adrian Peterson as my running back, so I'm fired up about that.
As long as he doesn't get injured, that's a good running back to have. But he gets hurt way too much.
All right, well, enough about the yada. Let's just jump into the action and see what's been hot and what do we got on the plate for today.
Yeah, that sounds good. We definitely have lots of activity to be looking forward to post-holiday. Got big boys from Wall Street returning from the Hamptons, as well as lots of dollar volume coming into the penny stock markets. Should be starting this week, even though it hasn't been super quiet. We should be starting to see some of those massive runners that we get used to at this time of year. But first of all, let's talk about a stem cell company, ticker STEM, Stem Cells Incorporated, putting out some big press today, positive phase 2 trial data. Stem Cells Incorporated today announced that interim 6-month data from the first patient cohort in the company's phase 1/2 clinical trial of its drug product candidate for chronic spinal cord injury continues to demonstrate a favorable safety profile and shows considerable gains in sensory function in 2 of the 3 patients compared to pre-transplant baselines. So very positive news coming from Stem Cells Incorporated. They actually put it out yesterday with an 8K filed to back it up today. Looks like it's going to gap a little bit pre-market. I think it was closed at 217 on Friday, and I think it was at about 260 last time I checked. So look for that one to be pretty strong out of the gates this week. Definitely a pretty sexy story going on with that company. Any company dealing with stem cells is going to be probably positively affected from some of these trial data from stem cells. Another stock that we've talked about quite a bit here at STT Radio since the lows in the 001s, 002. Renewin Corporation, ticker RENU. Been some positive developments happening there, as well as a positive effect on the share price as we saw that thing start to creep on some higher volume all of last week. The press out this morning is related to the letter of intent that we saw just a short time ago related to the acquisition of Team Energy Incorporated. Renewin basically bringing on Team Energy Incorporated through this acquisition is a very strategic partner in what they plan to do in the future. The terms of this acquisition were the issuance of 200 million shares of Renewin common stock to Team Energy. These are restricted shares, by the way. Also, one preferred share will be issued to Team Energy, which will consist of a 50.1% voting right. That preferred share can't be converted to common or anything like that. It's specifically geared towards giving Team Energy the 50.1% voting right. So in effect, Team Energy has the majority voting right within Renew Incorporation right now. But it's really nice to see a sub-penny stock putting out a letter of intent and actually following through, especially with an acquisition of Team Energy Quality. If you go check out the Team Energy website, it's in the sticky posts on the iHub boards. You go check out that Team Energy website. They have some pretty well-known clients, and it's not a small company by any means. So I'm looking forward to seeing what else Renewing comes out with in the future. They touch on financial updates, on some other things here in this press release. So I encourage you to go read that. It could be a hot stock going forward here, as it already has been. Let's move over to Entest Biomedical Incorporated, ticker ENTB. This one started getting hot late last week. I'm just going to roll over to Didi Amanda very briefly, just to give you an idea. We have pretty quiet stock there for the last month or so. It had its major run that we caught, and we had our little spotlight on this stock back then as well. From very low double zeros all the way up to about 3 cents earlier in the year here. And then it quieted down for a really long time. Kind of low dollar volume sell-off, profit taking, and then it kind of hung around for quite a while around that 002 area. And just late last week, as we can see right here, it was up big on Friday. You can kind of see some of the preloading going on there on Thursday, $21,000 day, and then Friday, $105,000 day, closing up at 0061, almost, well, 19 million shares in volume. I want to take a look at this chart just to see what kind of resistances we got, because they did put out some press this morning as well, which we'll check out in a second here. But I think this one could be a hot one out of the gates this week. Sumo, can you give us a little update on that chart? What are we looking at there, bud?
What ticker was that again? ENTB?
ENTB.
Okay, I got it here. Beautiful. Looking at this chart, you can go back and see the past it fell off a cliff here in April, end of March, came down from the 4-cent range and came down and found support around 0015, and it's been climbing since then. Had a nice run in June, July, where it ran to 027, and notice the volume dried up, and the stock made another run here to 006 after bouncing off of a support level. Looks like it found that support again around 0017 here. And key thing about last week, when it closed out the week, it broke above these moving averages. So this is a nice, clear sign that we got above these moving averages. We always like to see that. The accumulation distribution is on a sharp rise. Big volume coming back into the stock. Notice the last time it had big volume, it had a nice move up to 027. So now that we got above these moving averages, next resistance is going to be 009. So that's going to be a key resistance level. All the indicators are looking strong with the accumulation distribution getting through the 50 MA overlay. Same with the RSI. Looks like the PPO just had a crossover. That's looking nice. And the blue bars on the histogram are starting to go to the top side. So I like the makeup on this ENTB chart.
Awesome, man. Thanks for that. Let's just check out this news on ENTB briefly. If we can roll over to my screen. Entest Biomedical Incorporated, a company focused on veterinary biotechnology and veterinary hospital acquisitions operations, announced today that it has begun the process of interviewing qualified candidates to fill the company's newly created position of Director of Corporate Affairs. The responsibilities of this particular director is geared towards these veterinary hospital acquisitions. The company obviously doing some in-depth research related to canine cancer, and they want to own some of these veterinary hospitals so they can actually roll their products directly into these veterinary hospitals for use. So it's a nice little setup here for this company. But I don't want to get too much into that today. Very hot stock late last week. Probably going to be a hot stock this week as well. So keep your eyes on that one. Have that one on the watch list. Probably going to provide some really good trading opportunities. Let's touch on a couple other super hot stocks from late last week. Not necessarily stocks with news, but a stock that's been crazy. I was watching the level 2 late on Friday, and it was just absolutely stacked. The dollar volume been coming into Coastal Capital Acquisition Corp all last week, ticker CCAJ. Definitely some sort of big group or big fund loading in the background. And they did put out some press late last week on August 31st, 2012. I believe that was Thursday, if I remember correctly. This one closed at 0093 on Friday. But let's just briefly go over this press release. It's an open letter to shareholders. This is a newer company or a newer formation within the company with the recent acquisition of Earth Surfaces of America Incorporated, which is now a wholly owned subsidiary. Operating company, bringing in some decent revenues already, which I believe is already touched on in this press release as well. But they go over Earth Surfaces of America and, what Earth Surfaces of America actually does, and also the product line, personnel, capital, also growth and capital needs throughout the rest of the year here, some financing possibilities, and also just general shareholder communication. Obviously, this was a quiet company for a really long time until they popped that Earth Surfaces of America acquisition onto Pink Sheets there, which is where we saw that initial run earlier in the year. But definitely go check out that press release. Lots of good stuff in it. As I said, Earth Surfaces of America already bringing in good revenues, and this basically just outlines their growth plans and how they plan to obtain those growth plans in very basic detail, and basically says we're going to start talking to our shareholders. So very positive developments for CCAJ. As I said, let's just go check out Dee Amanda, just give you an idea of what sort of interest has been coming into this stock just over the last week here. Super quiet, very similar to what we're seeing with ENTB, except this one has had interest for a couple more days than ENTB has all of last week. A couple $60,000 days, $10,000 day, and then to finish it off, $185,000 day. Basically, for the most part, it was accumulation around the 007 to 008 mark, but it kind of broke out a little bit last Friday, pushing towards that 1 cent mark. And we all know how these stocks can kind of get a life of their own if they break that 1 cent mark. So that'll be a key mental resistance point early on out of the gates today. So definitely a stock to keep your eye on as well early this week. And one more that I wanted to cover, which we've also talked about quite a bit, that's been heating up like crazy. Lots of crazy rumors flying around about it, but also some positive developments in the press and whatnot with RFMK, Rapid Fire Marketing. Their main product, the Canna Cig, medical marijuana, super sexy, sleek cigarette, basically. Pretty cool product. They have Cheryl Schumann, obviously a celebrity, backing it and marketing it pretty much all over with the latest development in the TV series Wilfred. If you watched that, there was product placement of the Canna Cig within the show Wilfred. I believe that was just last week. And as you can see, the dollar volume has kind of been off the charts for the last couple of weeks as we've creeped up from that 001 area bottom all the way up to a close at 0023 to end the week last week, which is the highest close in a really long time, on about $120,000 traded. So definitely another one to keep your eyes on out of the gates this morning. All right. What else should we go over this morning? We got tons of news to go over. Let's check out UIMG. Unity Management Group Incorporated. This one closed at 0012 on Friday. Put out some press this morning. Unity Management Group, a business, resource, and service company, is pleased to announce its wholly owned subsidiary, On Track Technology Solutions Incorporated, and their consulting firms have entered into a farm-out agreement to begin work to establish production on a group of contiguous leases in Navarro County. There are approximately 52 well bores, with 6 being state-approved injection wells. Well bores identified at the Texas Railroad Commission, and the lease numbers right there. Looks like they're working with an area geologist to test these oil leases and drill. So go check out that news. 00 stock. Oil could provide a nice little trade opportunity in the future. That one moves pretty easy on even low volume. Let's check out FUEG. Face UP Entertain. This one is a higher priced stock to some extent. Closed at 36 cents on Friday. Putting out some press this morning. Face Up Entertainment Group Incorporated, a reality gaming social network company, today announced that it has appointed Alan Wiley as its Director of Leagues and Affiliates, Marketing and Support Programs. Alan, affectionately known as AJ, has spent the past 6 years with the World Poker Tour Amateur Poker League and brings his vast experience to Face Up, where he will directly oversee Poker League play and will also work with the ever-growing list of affiliates and relevant affiliate networks. Looks like he has a pretty strong background. They also put out some press last Friday, later in the day. So maybe a stock to keep an eye on. There's some rumors of some promotion floating on in the background, so put your eyes on that one. Ticker ICPA, IC Places Incorporated. Closed at 0095 on Friday. Got some press out on this one this morning. Punch TV Networks to offer live gavel-to-gavel coverage of the Democratic National Convention. Hopefully we can get something as entertaining as Clint Eastwood talking to an empty chair at the Democratic National Convention. Come on, Sumo, you got to step in on that. Give me something, man. Give me something.
FUEG has got some nice pre-market trading going on. It's already traded 35,000 shares.
We're already past FUEG. We're talking about Clint Eastwood talking to empty chairs.
I don't know nothing about that.
Are you serious?
I heard about it. I didn't see it. I heard it was embarrassing.
It was very embarrassing. You gotta go watch it though. All right, we'll leave Stock Sumo just with this FUEG love. Stock that I love, probably the only stock on the big boards that I love, to be honest with you, other than stem cells, STEM, but that's different. That's just by a farm company. Vringo Incorporated, ticker VRNG. Been talking about this one quite a bit at STT Radio. Basically own a ton of patents and have been performing some acquisitions of some companies that hold a bunch of patents. And they're basically taking all the big boys to court, Google, AOL, Target, for patent infringement cases, which, if Vringo wins, could potentially be worth billions of dollars to Vringo's bottom line, which is absolutely ridiculous. So fighting the big boys later on this year, VRNG represented by some pretty good litigation and with some pretty good lawyers who know what they're doing. So lots of people speculating that they're going to win these cases, and this stock's going to make a major run later on in 2012 here. I am a shareholder here. They just did a big capital raise. I believe, if I go check, it was on around like $3.30 or $3.40 or something. Raised several $1 million there. So in theory, that sets a nice little bottom. Big hedge fund taking a large position in the background, but you know that really doesn't mean anything. But they put out some news this morning related to a patent. If I can find it. Let's check out the message thing. Sometimes these news releases only upload in particular locations, which seems to be the case today. Let's see if I can find it. Here we go. The Rainmaker posting it here. September 4th, 2012, Viringo Incorporated, a company engaged in the innovation, development, and monetization of mobile technologies and intellectual property, today announced it has filed a new patent application for social video technology. Provisional patent application provides a new format for video group messaging. Looks like it's related to their merger with Innovate Protect. And it's a very positive development for the company. Stock I'm going to have my eyes on all through 2012 here, especially as we enter into the stage of those key lawsuits happening later this year and actually just next month. Most of those lawsuits starting up at some point in October.
I'd like to talk about Apple a little bit today.
By all means, right my mouth.
The stocks traded as low as 663 pre-market, 663.50 to be exact, and as high as 670. Right now it's at 665.70. A lot of anticipation out for the iPhone 5 that's supposed to be coming out, and I've been reading a few articles from Seeking Alpha. I just wanted to touch upon a couple of things I've been reading about. Perhaps the most critical feature that the iPhone 5 must possess is the ability to run on the 4G network. Apple is nearly a year behind on this feature, while consumers were somewhat willing to accept the excuse that Apple wanted to perfect the technology a year ago. This is unlikely to be the case again. When the iPhone 5 morphed into the iPhone 4S in 2011, delivering the Retina display and Siri to the world, Apple faithful were pleased that there was no antenna issue. A failure to deliver on the 4G could prove disastrous for the new device. So just something to think about. And there's a little piece here in this article about Microsoft and Nokia. We've been talking about Nokia a lot. And let me just read this little part here. Having to compete with the iPhone 5 could have a real impact for the Windows Phone 8. While the new phone from Microsoft and struggling manufacturer Nokia will be released first September 5th versus a rumored release date of September 21st, this could have a mixed impact. In one sense, the Windows Phone will get the stand alone for few weeks without having to share the stage. On the other hand, if consumers delay the purchase of a Windows Phone while they wait to check out the iPhone 5, a report of slow initial sales could create a false negative for the phone. The net result is probably positive because it will give reviewers a chance to really understand the new phone. But this critical launch for both companies, when one also considers that the recent patent decision may slow down the progress of iPhone competitors, the Windows Phone 8 will have a unique chance to come out as the aggressor. So good stuff to take into consideration here. I got another article here for Apple about 6 potential acquisitions for Apple, and I'm not going to go into too much detail about the article other than I'm just going to mention the symbols, and the symbols are DFS, GRMN, Garmin, IDCC, and Zanga, ZNGA. So definitely want to keep those tickers on watch. All right, let's take a look at that pre-market scanner. STEM at the top of that list, as well as Nokia, number one. Nokia is up 2.8%. It's last traded at $2.90. STEM is at $2.54 last trade, and that's on 87 trades, 74,000 in volume. You also got AMD at the top of that list, as well as Bank of America. Those two stocks are pretty much flat, but they're trading some good pre-market volume. CTIC, Cell Therapeutics, is gapping up 350%. Last traded at $1.97. Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna check that one out.
Yes.
It's a nice little favorite of mine. I owned that way back when it had its huge run before their FDA PDUFA decision or whatever. And there were I ended up getting 2 years later, after I hadn't looked at the stock, and in pretty much a couple of years, I got some like lawsuit info related to some shareholders who raised issues with the company. 2 years later, I get something saying if I want to file some, I don't even know what it was. I just threw it away because I wasn't a shareholder anymore. But let's check out this news today. Looks like the appointment of a new officer. Cell Therapeutics Incorporated, a company focused on translating science into novel cancer therapies. I think they did a reverse split today, because that news does not warrant 500% move. Yep. Looks like they just did a 1-for-5 reverse split, I believe. So that is the reason. So it's a fake increase in share price.
Too bad I don't have the toilet flush.
Yes, that would be definitely warrant a toilet flush. Just my opinion. Anyways, let's move over to one other press release I want to cover for the day, because I think the stock is also going to be really hot this week, just based on some of the chatter that I've been hearing. Ticker is OTHM. Very likely some promotion going on in the background based on who I've been seeing the chatter from. But Orions Travel and Hotel Management Corporation, the next generation international hotel brand operator, operating its Hotel Pure brand, is pleased to announce that the company has initiated a subscription application with over-the-counter markets and looks to update its financial statements and corporate materials on over-the-counter markets website. So anytime you got a company coming out of the dark, starting to talk a little bit, updating pink sheets, you're very likely going to see some positive press to follow that, as well as some sort of awareness. And we've seen some of these stocks like this make some pretty big moves following the initiation of that. So just checking out dollar volume on DD Manda pretty much tells you everything you need to know. Someone obviously known something over the last couple of days, basically $0 volume for ages. And then just late last week, we get a few green candles to end the week out, finishing the week with a couple of $25,000 to $30,000 days. So definitely want to keep your eyes on out of the gates this week. And of course, just to throw it in there because I like to throw it in there, GTGP, all-time favorite here at STT Radio. Still waiting on the final data from their mercury testing up at the cement plants in Montana. Waiting on news related to the EPA benchmark approval, which, if received, will very likely result in some very large government contracts. So that one's kind of always on my very high watch list. Also a shareholder. All right, we have
the market just opened.
Like CCAD right out of the gates. We have RFMK 0024 by 0025. Also quieter out of the gates than I was expecting. Lots of sixes. Looks like ENTB, this one closed at 0061 on Friday. Gapped up a little bit to 0071, quieting down a little bit. We got some about 500,000 to 600,000 shares at 007. OTHM. Seeing some bid support there. Got a nice little tap on the ask. All right, let's check out some scanners. Let's get some movers here. About FRCN, spotlight from last Monday. I think we spotlighted this one at 002 or 003. I don't remember exactly what it was at even, but this one has just been a beast all last week. Not a whole lot of volume so far today, but the level 2 looks pretty good there. Got about 200,000 shares sitting on the 1.2 cents. A couple market makers right under that at 1 cent. But it was a beast in all last week. 5 or 6 bagger right there. Another one that I was kind of looking at. Looked like it was coming off of a nice little bottom. The right ticker. Did I just do a reverse split? All right, I'll just skip over that one because it's not loading properly. FTCH was getting hot last Friday. That's another one. That didn't really have news, but this one tends to run pretty big, about once a month it seems like at this point. We got some nice bidders there on the 0004 and less on the ask at 0005. 24 million shares traded already today, up 33.3%. Last traded at that 0004. No 0005 taps quite yet, but there's definitely still people smacking away. History of dilution, though, so be careful. So we've got RFMK 0026 is up. This one closed at 0023 on Friday, one of the hotter ones later last week. 0025 by 0026 spread. Would like to see a little bit more support on that 0025 mark. About 1.5 million on the 0026 ask. There, some bidders are stepping up. Looks like ENTB stepping back and filling that gap. Got a nice 2 million share bid on the 0061, which is where it closed at on Friday. And a few market makers above that at the 0062, showing about 400,000 shares. 0065 on the ask, then it jumps to 007.
We got one of the members in the chat room asking about HALB. I pulled it up on a level 2. It's 6.5 by 10 cents. It's down 53.57% on 128,000 shares in trading volume. Level 2 looks thin on the ask side. I'd like to see that bid support come up. I'd like to see the spread tighten up a bit.
Well, I'll tell you, if you roll over to my screen, if you're listening, my man, check out DD Amanda on Help. That pretty much tells us everything we need to know. I've actually been hearing some chatter on this one, and basically there's rumors of a big promotion coming on this one. As we can see, Friday, massive dollar volume, closing up from 0.51 all the way up at 14 cents. And just rumors of promotion behind it, and whether you want to trust those or not, sometimes it doesn't matter. Rumors move stocks. But this one's been pretty volatile. It's been up at the 14, 15 cent area before and came back down to the 5 cent mark. So just be very, very careful. As Sumo mentioned, the support's not necessarily there in some of these early stages of the promotion. Provided that promotion is actually even legit, you're going to see some wild fluctuations in share price, especially as if an initial big load comes in or something, as we saw last Friday. Just be very,
But
very careful.
just watching the level two, they came down and hit the bid at 6.5 for 30,000 shares. So there's still some selling going on here.
Yep. Well, what I would do with a play like that is I would go and start reading some filings, see if there's any sort of convertibles or anything like that. If you have a big group with a bunch of convertibles, you need to be very, very careful because they could just be throwing out rumors of promotion just so they can sell their shares. You just got to be careful. Company has no revenues. They need a bunch of money. Yeah, it's cool technology with drones and whatnot, but just be careful.
Apple looks like it wants to go through 670. It's up to 669.74 right now. The high of day is 669.83. So if we see this thing break out here, it's going to get exciting. A lot of speculation going on, a lot of excitement around that iPhone 5. I hope they come out strong, and I'm sure they're going to. I'm sure they're not going to let people down. We'll see.
Got some real good volume coming in on ENTB right now. We got some big bidders stepping up now. We got 1.9 million shares on 0071 bid. Got 008s getting tapped right now up another 31.1%. 1.6 million shares traded. This thing, once it tapped those 0071s, it basically jumped to 008 on the level 2 screen where the market makers were sitting. So getting some action there. RFMK, about 4 million shares traded now. We're still sitting at this 0025 by 0026 spread. Got about 600,000 shares on 0026. About 400,000 shares on the bid at 0025. FTCH busted those 0005s. Some nice bidders stepping up on the 0005s now. 0006s up on the ask. Getting tapped. Getting tapped. Got OTHM, another one that we mentioned, keep an eye on this week, getting a few love taps. Not a whole lot of volume, 120,000 shares traded. Last trade at 3.5 cents, which is up on the ask. But announcing that they were going to update pink sheets, and rumors and chatter from some people that make me think that there's going to be some sort of a push on this stock in the near future. So maybe you want to keep an eye on. But remember, promotion, there's always someone looking to sell shares as well. So keep that in mind. Let's see if we got any other hotties. Looks like ATTD is getting a little bit of action this morning at the very least. Let's check that out. That one's been quiet for a long time. Obviously, the massive run earlier in the year. Ooh, I don't like Kant on the ask. Kant is one of my worst favorite market makers, to be honest. Looks like a few hits on that 001 mark, though. 25%, 9 million shares traded so far. Maybe one just to stick on the accumulation watch list, just in case. All right, let's check out some of these other news stocks, see if we can't find anything. ICPA, quiet stock, even on the news.
I'm seeing a little action in ACYD off the scanner. This one started to pick up on Friday. It's up again today, 32% on 1.6 million in volume. Last trade at 0043, up 26.47%.
This one's been crazy over the course of the last week. We had a $100,000 day back on, looks like last Wednesday, and a couple other follow-up days, which with some decent volume on this little mini breakout. But looks like it's getting some love again early this week, so definitely want to keep your eyes on. Not sure exactly what's going on there.
FUEG gapped up this morning. It was as high as 38.5 cents, dipped as low as 29 cents where it found support, and last traded at 33.5. STVF, that was another one that was up pretty big on Friday. It's up another 16% today. Stevia first. Last trade at 81.5 cents. 202,000 shares traded. APRE is running this morning. I think this one's been promoted before. It's 018 by 019. That's a gain of 140% on 1.1 million in volume.
Like the way BBDA is trading, it's consolidating a little bit here on this 1.2 cent mark. Nice bid support above the 1 cent mark, and the ask looks relatively thin. So might be one to make a nice little leg up this week. Gonna keep my eyes on that one. Which stock was I just gonna check out? Oh, CFGX. That was another one that I kind of noticed was getting loaded a little bit late last week. Pretty light so far this week by the looks of it though. 0025 to 0027. Let's check out RENU, the Team Energy news. Really light volume, actually. I think most of the people and shareholders were actually fully expecting that news. So, kind of a quiet morning so far for RENU.
CCAJ, the level 2 looks very well supported in the low 007s. It dipped down there and now it's bouncing. The offer just jumped from 8 to 8.4. But looking at that level 2 on CCAJ, I noticed the bid starting to thicken up here, and looks like it just found its bounce point. Wouldn't be surprised to see this thing go back to the 009s, and if it can break that resistance in the 009s, we could see over a penny.
Yeah, this stock traded some thick volume between that 007, 008 for a few days there, so probably a pretty good support area.
Apple struggled to get over that 669.83, the high day. It's dipping here back down to 667, still a gain of $2.25 here from Friday's close. SAPX had a reverse split also, so we're seeing a lot of these companies that are known for diluting, CTIC, SAPX, doing the old reverse splits. Not a good thing for the shareholders left stuck holding the bag. Sucks. Been through a few reverse splits in the past. It's not fun. CCAJ, that level 2, looking good. Found that support in the 007s, back to 8.2 by 8.5. Looks like the bidders are hopping up to the 8 range. Looks like the next patch of resistance is 0094 and 0097. You got 200,000 share blocks on the offer there.
Looks like ATTD getting a few more love taps, breaking that 001. See if Kant is still sitting on the ask. Looks like he moved. Now we have 0012 by 0016 spread, just over 10 million in volume. So that sucker thinned out quite a bit when Cat came off the ask. He's sitting up there at 0018, up 50%, 0012 last trade. Hmm. It's a quiet morning out there.
Yeah, people got that hangover going from the long weekend. You know, these long weekends can take a lot out of you. They go by so quick, it's never long enough.
I hear you on
C
that.
CCAJ getting some nice slaps at the ask here at 8.5.
Got FTCH dip back down to the 0004s. Now we got high days back up on the ask. We got some nice bidders stepping up in the 0005. Ask looks quite a bit thinner on the 0006 from last time we were up here just a few minutes ago. Almost 100 million in volume already. Someone is loading and looking to run this guy. I'm guessing we're going to see some news this week.
APRE trading pretty well today. It's holding its gains very nicely here. It's 0161 by 0162, up 100% on 1.9 million in volume. Boom, you just seen it break the 162 and now it's 19 by 195. The high day is 19. So if it can get through this 2 cent, I saw a large ask there on twos, just move back now to 3. So nice level 2 action on APRE here.
UIMG getting a little bit of love. Got a 1.3 million share bidder on 0014. 0016 is up on the ask there. They had the news related to some of their oil leases this morning. Pretty thin stock, 3.2 million shares traded so far, up 33.3%. ATTD, a couple of nice taps on the 0016, which is up 100% on the day. 11 million shares traded now. Still that icky 0012 by 0016 spread.
I'm digging this action on APRE. They had like 292,000 shares or something on the ask at 2 cents. It moved back to 3. It's trading at the just under the high day here. It's 18 by 19. The high day is 195. Be interesting to see if it could break the 2 cent mark. See that ask at 3 cents, 229,000 shares with E-Trade. That looks like the next resistance.
See if PSID will load for me this time. Man. Just go to the actual board then. I don't know why it's giving me trouble, but Positive ID Corporation, PSID. Just under 400,000 shares traded, up 13.71%. Last trade at 1.99 cents. Been getting some upside action off of bottoms as of last week. Just checking it out on DD and Manda here. It's coming off of a little bit of a bottom there, so just one that I kind of noticed last night that I'm keeping my eyes on this week.
APRE clicking at 2 cents. That's the one that ignited off the scanner. It's looking rather strong here, hitting a new high a day. Nothing like reading a level 2 there. Saw that ask that was fairly large at 2 cents move back to 3. I could tell it was getting ready to break that 2 cent mark. And here she goes, 2 by 2-2. 2-1 bidder stepping up now. Like I said, that big ask move from 2 to 3 cents. Two 2.5s are up. Big 100,000 share block just traded at 2.2. Somebody's buying some nice size there. Volume went from 1.3 million when we caught it on the scanner, around 0.13 by 0.15. Now we're up to 0.24 offer and over 3.2 million in volume. There's today's runner of the day. Let's see what E-Trade does when it gets up to 3 cents, if it gets there. If he decreases his size and moves back, it's about $7,000 worth of stock on the ask at 3 cents. In comparison to how much volume the stock's traded today, it's really not much. Looking pretty strong. E-Trade and CSTI are staying on that bid, high bid at 226 right now. Offered at 235. CSTI keeps jumping that high bid. Wonder if we got a short squeeze here or what.
I think we might. I hate CSTI, so I hope it is.
Up 197% now. Last trade at the high day of 0.235. Looks like it's got some resistance here. It's going to stall out at 0.235 and we're going to see a pullback. Looks like the bid support is at 1.5 pennies. Needs to hold that support at 1.5 pennies on the level 2. All right, Hoss, I'm ready to wrap things up. Apple looks like it's getting ready to break out. I want to get to some options, and let's call it a show.
I'm right there with you, man. We have FTCH just broke 0006s. One to put on your watch list. All right, have a good trading day, folks.
Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you for listening to Stock Traders Talk Radio. All views and topics talked about on Stock Traders Talk Radio is solely for entertainment purposes. We are not professional financial advisors and always recommend you seek the advice of a professional financial advisor. Never invest in any stock featured on our show unless you can afford to lose your entire investment. The information contained on our show is based on sources which we believe to be reliable, but is not guaranteed by us as being accurate, and might not be a complete statement or summary of the available data. Stock Traders Talk Radio advises that the investments in companies profiled are commonly considered to be high risk, and use of the information provided is at the investor's sole risk. Thank you for listening to Stock Traders Talk Radio.